Hello, everybody. I'm Inspired Keys. I thought I would jump onto YouTube right now to share about three tips that you can maintain or grow your worship key skills during off seasons. So there are all kinds of off seasons in our lives. I've been through a lot of them myself. Even though I started playing worship keys like since I was a very young person, right? Let's just put it this way. I'm pretty old right now. But pretty much for half of my life. I think I started playing when I was 18, which gives you an idea of what my age is. And yeah, I started playing, but then, it's impossible to just serve in church every single year. And so, of course, there are seasons when I actually didn't really play, didn't really serve for a very long time. And yeah, it's like that. It's impossible to carry on, right? Sometimes life just gets in the way. Maybe there are different commitments that you have to commit to. So there were times when I just didn't serve for like a couple of years because we were sort of in transitions with churches, and I just, you can't really sort of jump into a worship team when you're brand new to a country or to a church. And of course, there are quite a few moves that we've done so far. So some of us, like those in the northern part of the hemisphere, you might be going through summer right now. And summer is this long holiday season where maybe you are traveling and maybe you have some special employment kind of commitments. Maybe you you signed up for a trip or something. So yeah, it's impossible to just serve, but it is still possible for us as worship keys musicians, church musicians, even during our off seasons, to stay abreast and to even grow our skills. I would even like to say grow instead of maintaining skills, just because maintaining sounds like, we're kind of plateauing, but we really want to actually keep getting better. And so you must be wondering, oh, but I don't have access to a keyboard when I am traveling. I am not actively serving in church right now. So how am I supposed to keep getting better? I am not even in my usual country, or, like things are just in constant transition during the season of my life. Or maybe I'm just really busy. I'm really busy with my work. I'm really busy with my studies at the moment. How am I supposed to keep getting better as a worship musician or as a worship keyboardist? And yes, there are still ways. So stay tuned. I'm going to share 3 tips on how you can do that during such a season of your life. But before I do that, I would like to let you know that I have a free PDF that I would like to share with you. And it's called the 3 Quick Tips to make your worship keyboard playing awesome. So if you're a worship keyboardist and at the moment you're like, I think I can sort of afford to sound better in my worship keys playing, then this free PDF is for you. Just click the link below in the description box, and that will take you to the free download. You can get instant access to all my 3 best tips on how you can start sounding awesome in your worship keys playing, especially if you feel like you've been playing in a way that sort of is disengaging or sounds a bit boring. At this point, I want to say hi to Sergio. Thank you so much for jumping into the chat. And if you're watching, please do type into the chat and let me know who you are, where you are watching from today, and I'd like to give you a shout out. So Sergio, awesome. He says, yes, I had the same questions. Awesome. Fantastic. Stay tuned though. And woohoo. I don't want to get your name wrong, but Uche Chukwu is watching from Nigeria. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name, but I really, really am so delighted that you are able to join us from all over the world. Praise God for the internet and for just using these tools to help us become stronger worship keyboardists. Sergio says, currently in an off season due to work and school, it's rough at times. Glad for this video. And David's in the house. Hello, David. Fantastic to see you guys joining me, even though I just kind of like jumped in. It's 10:40 a.m. where I am. Woke up from a night of much baby duty. The baby decided to wake up about 4 times through the night. So woke up many times, much disrupted sleep. But I made myself go for a run, listened to a really good podcast, and had breakfast. And now I'm here in my workroom and ready to I just kind of really jotted down my notes in my notebook, as you can see. And I was like, yeah, lots of people are going through off seasons. And it's not even just during this time of the year. I think at every time, every moment, we all have off seasons of some sort, right? Like, I've been in this whole teaching people how to play worship keys business for so long, and I've seen people jump on and off the academy because they tell me, hey, I'm really busy with work now. Hey, I can't commit anymore. Or maybe it's even sometimes like financial reasons or commitment reasons. I can't serve in church during this season. So I was like, hey, I think it's about time for me to think of what we can do during off seasons. Or maybe you can even say it's not like off seasons per se, but busy seasons, right? Like we can't actually commit to sitting down at a keyboard practicing. So all of my tips do not involve sitting down practicing with a keyboard. How about that? So yeah, like, or maybe just, you can't say yes to your worship pastor for serving regularly. Maybe you're only playing one off. Maybe you are, you just can't say yes to the worship team at the moment, right? Because it takes a lot of time. Like, it takes at least, typically it's one weeknight of at least 3 hours, getting to church and coming home from church takes some time, and setting up, and not to mention practicing for the worship set, or even to be at church for however many services that you will be playing for. I used to serve in a church back in Malaysia where we would have to travel literally. It's crazy. So we had to meet at where the instruments are parked, go to that place. It could be the church or it could be a warehouse. Okay, so it's like a factory. And then you go get the instruments from that room and then drive to the location where we're serving, which could be an hour's drive because we would be ministering to campuses that are way far from the city. And so we would get and take about an hour's fast driving. Okay, so can you imagine how far that is? Go there, set up, serve one or maybe two services, pack up, send the instruments back to where the instruments are locked up. So that's another hour's drive. And then maybe have lunch together at 4 p.m. So that's like the kind of life we used to have. And I don't think many people can actually afford such a lifestyle all the time. Okay. So it's awesome if we've had those seasons, but if we're not in that season, then I really hope that these 3 quick tips will help you. And right before I jump into that, I do want to remind everybody I am running the biggest Inspired Keys Academy flash sale. So basically, normally the Inspired Keys Academy is at a premium. The reason why it's charged at a premium is because you don't just get into the academy and you just like, fend for yourself, figure out and navigate the courses by yourself. You actually get one-on-one coaching time with me. You get questions answered. I will personally reply you and answer your questions in the form of a video reply or response to you. So really, it's a very, very hand-holding process. And there's lots of interaction going on, lots of discussions in our members' Facebook group. And so normally it is $39 per month. It is going on for $9 a month only. Expires this Saturday, the 30th of June. Basically, the end of June is the cutoff day. So do not wait. Jump into the Inspired Keys Academy right now. Normally, it's $300 a year for an annual membership, but right now it is just $99. So it's a massive, massive discount, guys. To join, just go to inspiredkeys.com/join and pick either the monthly or the annual subscription. And at checkout, use the discount code FLASH. And I look forward to serving you and answering your worship keys questions or just hanging out with you inside the academy. All right, so let's see. Sebastian Flores says, Sebastian from Houston. Hello. Oh my gosh, so and awesome. Let's jump in. So how to get better, how to get stay as a good and skillful musician during the off seasons of our lives. Number 1, you can improve your skills during this time by doing some other kinds of things besides having to practice for those songs. Okay, when we say yes to a worship team, to serving in a worship team, say yes to our worship pastor, say yes to serving in a cell group, it's usually very practical, right? You get that one song, that 4 songs, that 10 songs, however many songs you guys do, and then you practice those songs. and then you show up and you play those songs, right? So it's all very song based. At least that's what I think it is. Maybe sometimes it's not so much song based, but it's kind of like sensing and feeling. You're playing behind the pastor, you're playing during an altar call. But when you don't serve, then it's not so song centric anymore. And that's actually a great time for us to sort of improve on our skills. So, you might feel like, okay, well, I can't access a piano. Well, maybe this is a season for you to improve in your play by ear skills. And how do you go about doing that? Well, a lot of the play by ear skills may not require you to sit at a piano. So you could really take this opportunity to grow your oral training skills, chord recognition skills. So when you listen to a song, you go like, do I know what those chords are? And what you want to be able to do is whenever and wherever you hear a song, okay, whether it's a worship song or a pop song from the radio or a song on the background when you're in the supermarket or a jingle on TV, you want to be able to hear what chord it is. And it's almost like a career hazard for me, or maybe just a life hazard, basically, because I don't know why I just am able to recognize chords. But that's also because I went through my secondary school with lots of oral training, and we used to have like half-hour lessons twice a week where our teacher would go play 4 chords and go write down these 4 chords, right? And so really, guys, there are only 6 main chords. That's 3 major chords and 3 minor chords. And so I really think that in most kind of musical contexts, we're not talking advanced funk and jazz and gospel or neo soul. You know, those kinds of music like have way crazy chords, right? But you know, we're talking like just general music. We're talking simple music, whether it's babies, children's music, whether it's worship music. You know, worship music is actually meant to be simple because they want people to be able to serve in church, right? If things are too difficult, people can't serve. So these songs, and you know, most pop songs, just the general Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Justin Bieber, a lot of these songs just have these 3 major and 3 minor chords. So see if you're able to pick up those chords wherever you are, whether you're driving in the car or doing grocery shopping or whatever it is you do. See if you can just identify those chords, guys. And if you need some help with that, there is a play-by-ear course. There is a chord identification course inside the Inspired Keys Academy. So all of that's available for you to go in and learn and improve on as you go. And the cool thing is, you know, even if you don't have, you're not serving and, you know, you are maybe really busy, maybe you're commuting a lot in the train, in the bus, you take public transport, you're in the car, you can still access the Inspired Keys Academy teaching resources, teaching videos. You can still play them at the background and learn as you are listening to the course trainings. So that's for you available inside the academy if you want to get better during an off-season time. Who says we can only refer to the Inspired Keys Academy notes or course videos or learn actively only when we're serving? We can still learn, we can still improve when we are not actually serving actively in our churches or cell groups or wherever it is we serve in. Play by ear is just one of those things where, you know, it's a lot of ear training. So you kind of can do it when you're not actually at the piano. But if you can access a piano and you're still not serving, you know, this is a great time to improve in your other skills. Maybe it's time to improve in your technique. Maybe you want to work on strengthening fingers 4 and 5 because these are fingers that are naturally weaker than fingers 1, 2, and 3, right? So maybe every time you play chords, the stronger fingers play it louder and then your weaker fingers play softer. So this is a great time to improve in your weaker fingers. This is a time for you to get better at making all your scales good. Maybe this is a time to learn all 12 keys. Maybe you've only been fluent in like 4 or 5 main keys, and maybe you might be reliant on like the transpose button. Well, this is a great time for you to not use that and to start practicing songs in F sharp major and E flat, you know, all those crazy rare keys, Although I have to say those keys are kind of like gaining popularity right now. Most of the keys, like a lot of Bethel songs I notice are like in C sharp and F sharp, which is really quite a challenge actually. Yeah, so these are just a few things I can think of. There are tons that we can do to improve musically. And if you need some help with breaking that down, you could refer to the 31 Days to Better Worship Keyboard Playing ebook. The 31 Days ebook, which is $49 in value, is available like as a bonus free together with the Inspired Keys Academy once you join. So at the flash discount of $9 per month or $99 a year, you really do not want to miss joining the Inspired Keys Academy right now before this offer expires on the 30th of June. Now, I'm going on to my second tip, but before that, I'd like to see Tavita. Tavita's message says, "Hi, Sandra. I'm Tavita from California in San Francisco. Can you show me going from 5 to 1 in the key of C?" Okay, 5 to 1. Did you mean chord 5 to chord 1 in the key of C? Da 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 da. I'm not perfect pitch, so don't blame me if those pitches are wrong. Probably is. Cool. I really don't have my keyboard set up. I can't really show you, and neither is this really a Q&A, but I'd like to answer that in an upcoming video, so do stay tuned. But yes, guys, do ask me your questions if you're watching this right now live. Just pop it into the chat, and if it's an answerable question that I can answer like just by talking, I will. Great. I'm going to go on with the second tip on how we can maintain and grow our worship key skills during off seasons. And that is, we can keep abreast with the worship songs that are being released every now and then. You know how there are all these new worship songs, whether it's from the big mega churches like Hillsong and Bethel, or whether it's from the smaller churches, by keeping abreast with all these new songs that are coming out. And I think a great way to do that, which I myself use, is I do subscribe to quite a lot of different Christian music publications like worshiponline.com, multitracks.com, and there are a few more. I can't seem to think of any of them, but I do want to highly recommend multitracks.com because that is not only like this really giant, basically main supplier or resource for all the tracks that you might need to use for many of the latest current songs. But they really do a good job of keeping track of all the different churches all around the world, not just like in 1 or 2 countries, but I've seen them do lots of different countries and different bands and different churches who release new albums, and they feature that. And I subscribe to their email. So every now and then I get an email informing about like the 3 new albums that are just out this week, and then, or maybe the 3 new tracks that are released from these artists. So I think multitracks.com is a great way to keep abreast. So sometimes I'm sort of like, maybe in a car ride going somewhere, maybe going to church, and my husband's driving and I'm kind of bored. So I just scroll through my email and I star the emails in my Gmail that I want to get to when I have some free time. And then I go to multitracks.com and I'm like, oh, cool, Allison Park Church just kind of released a new album. And then I would just go to my Spotify and then I'll just type in Allison Park, never heard of them before, and ooh, check out those albums, listen to them in the car and go like, wow, that's nice. And so that's a great way for us to stay abreast in knowing what music there is. And there's lots of new music that's being rolled out every now and then. So if you haven't already, go to multitracks.com. I am not affiliated with them in any way, and but I have come to realize that's a great way to stay abreast. So I think it's their emails as well, where they have like the top 20 worship songs. And these are quite different from like the pop songs in the pop culture industry, where it's all the new releases that become like the #1 hits, right? But it's amazing how a lot of the #1 hits are songs that have been around for a long time, like Good Good Father and What a Beautiful Name. And these are songs that were out since like 2016, but they're still really wildly popular all over the world. So, you know, staying abreast with all these popular tracks, even if your church sings them or doesn't sing them, you know, you can still learn them so that when God calls you to serve him again in this church, in another country, wherever it is he places you, I am aware of how it begins in the intro. And so when you learn the songs, it's not going to be brand new to you. You would have heard it before at least once. And yeah, it's always good to just stay abreast and listen to new songs and learn those new cool things that people are doing nowadays. And what are some common gestures, common kind of key signatures. 6/8 seems to be coming up really strong. Yeah, so it's really good to stay abreast in that way. Cool. So I welcome any questions. If you have any, just pop them in to the chat if you're watching live. If you have any questions and you're watching the replay, just type it into the comments below. I'm going to go straight on with tip number 3. And tip number 3 is something that I kind of learned when I was doing my master's in music education with Boston University a couple of years ago. I came across this term called to musique. So it's actually like music, music. But then it's actually like a verb where you add a K at the back. And I don't really think this is an official English word. It's more like an educational kind of English word. So to musique, musick, is where we listen to music interactively. So we're not just listening to music, but we're listening to music as we tap our toes. And we're listening to music as we bob our heads. We're listening to music as we're maybe dancing and swaying. And there are some cultures that do this a lot more naturally than others. So like we're city folk, so we don't really go like tapping and singing or humming in the train with our earphones. But then there are some cultures where people just naturally sway to the music and sing and harmonize. I've seen cultures where, like in their church services, they're actually like dancing and clapping and turning around and round. And it is absolutely fascinating. And I think we, from like, my culture, we have so much to learn from them because music just kind of flows naturally in these cultures. So whichever culture you come from, I just want to encourage you to musique to the music that you listen to. So whether it is just like listening to a track in the car or something, do a few things to interact with the music a little bit more. So maybe it is to say out the beat numbers. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could tap your head. Like I naturally do the tapping of my head just because it's like natural. I can't really control it. Are you able to identify which is beat 1 in the first place? So some people don't really know which is beat 1. Maybe some of us are struggling to even identify the beat itself. So that's something to that you can think on the go. You don't need to be in front of a piano to do that. You can think of that and work it out when you're sitting in a train, sitting in a bus, or a plane if you fly a lot. Yeah, so you can say the beat, you can tap the beat. You don't have to necessarily clap it, depending on wherever you are. You don't want to disturb the people around you. You can tap your feet. You can pat your hands lightly onto your lap or something and feel the beat. Maybe it's a 6/8 song. Can you go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and there are all these. Every song has a beat. The beat's like a skeleton backbone of the song. So can you identify the song's beats and the sort of the time signature? Are you able to say out those beats? Because when you can do that, it also makes a difference to the way you play. When you actually play, you have a good sense of the beat and you can play it like with the good sense of consistent tempo, and you can just play with a natural rhythm that's just really strong and convincing, and that makes all the difference than a person who's sort of like guessing what the beat is. What else you can do is to analyze the drum beats. So most worship songs anyway, will have some form of a drum layer. So are you able to listen out to that drum layer? Are you able to vocalize the drums? We not that we are drummers, but then as a pianist, and go watch that video I have created a few weeks ago about how to play in sync with the drum layer. Because when we play piano, we're actually a lot like the drums. We have instruments that sound very percussive. So if the drummer was to do something like doom tap, doom tap, doom tap, tap, for example, you do want to play something along those lines as well. You don't want to play tung, 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 unless, you guys kind of planned it that way. But you do want to play dum, tap, dum, tap, dum, tap, dum, tap, or along those lines so that everyone's really in sync and the music sounds tight together. So in order to play like that, you really want to be able to listen to it and hear it and go like, oh, I know what the drum's doing is kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. And maybe there are toms, maybe there's a right cymbal thing going on, maybe there's a crash cymbal. Are you able to analyze the drum parts? So that's something that I'm constantly trying to do, especially when I'm just listening to songs and I'm just kind of like passively listening. I'm also trying to listen out to what the drums are doing. And I do find that that ties in all the instruments together. Well, the drums are the loudest instruments. So, yeah, when you can play in sync with the drums, it really makes the music really tight and sounds so much better than if you were to just do your own thing. So drums, one thing. Can you call out the sections? Well, maybe if you are a band leader and you have to practice calling out sections, are you able to sort of listen to songs and sort of even just practice calling out verse 3 seconds before you get into it, or maybe one whole phrase before it's the verse? Are you able to call out interlude? You know, that these are calling out things that you can actually practice away from the piano. Yeah, so I really, really hope that these 3 tips help. I'm just gonna see if anyone left any messages. Not really. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to type it into the chat right now. But otherwise, I will be jumping off pretty soon. I'm going to be answering some Inspired Keys Academy member questions and doing some other stuff like preparing some new courses to release and a new worksheet on harmonization and reharmonization. That's gonna be up next to be released in the Inspired Keys Academy. So if you're interested to learn how to harmonize a tune, whether it's singing or maybe by playing a melody, or maybe you are interested to learn how to reharmonize, where you can play a different set of chords to the same melody, then you do want to join the Inspired Keys Academy. And there is no better time to join than right now. I am running a massive, massive discount. So usually $39 per month. Right now, just $9 a month. Also, normally $300 a year for an annual membership. Right now, just $99 a year. Learn this, go tell them the good news. All these expire on the 30th of June, which is just this Saturday. So do not wait. Join right now. I want you to get into the Academy at this awesome price. And be sure to use the discount code FLASH, FLASH, when you go to checkout. And you should go to inspiredkeys.com/join to pick either the annual or the monthly membership to jump in on this massive discount. Alrighty, guys. If this video helped, please like and comment and subscribe to the Inspired Keyboardist YouTube channel. Tell your worship keyboardist friends about this channel if they don't already know it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. This is Sergio saying yes, thank you. Sergio, thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you who are watching right now. Sergio, Chuku, Sebastian, David, really, really appreciate your time with me. And I look forward to answering your worship keys questions. So go ahead and either comment below and let me know what questions you have, or you can contact me on my contact form in inspiredkeys.com, and I would love to hear from you. So otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. God bless.